Arthur was a 72-year-old retired engineer who walked 3 miles a day and felt perfectly fine until a routine scan turned his world upside down. The doctor gave him a grim look and mentioned a rapidly growing abnormal mass. Arthur's immediate thought was not about death, but a deep, overwhelming fear of losing his independence and ending up bedridden in a nursing home. He was terrified of the physical and mental side effects of heavy traditional treatments, fearing the extreme fatigue, the brain fog, and the chronic pain that so many people suffer through. But what if I told you Arthur found another path? What if a simple, completely natural 60-second water trick could change the environment inside your body so drastically that those harmful rogue cells literally starve? We are often told that once you cross 60, your only options are aggressive interventions or a slow, painful surrender. Many of you tell me that you value your quality of life over sheer quantity, and that resting in peace actually sounds better than battling a severe illness in a hospital bed at 80. I understand that perfectly. The medical system wants to rush you through a 10-minute consultation and hand you a prescription. They rarely explain the why behind your health or look for root causes. Today, we are going to change that. I am going to reveal a daily habit that costs absolutely nothing, takes barely a minute, and shifts your cellular biology to protect you from the inside out. You might be wondering why your primary care physician never mentioned this simple morning routine. The truth about what happens inside your cells when you wake up is going to make you question every piece of conventional advice you have received in the last decade. I am Dr. Marcus Caldwell. As an active cardiothoracic surgeon, I have spent decades in the operating room, standing on the front lines of modern medicine. I have opened chests and held beating human hearts in my own hands. I know exactly what disease looks like when it reaches the point of no return. But I am also deeply frustrated. I am tired of a medical system that forces doctors to rush through 7-minute appointments, leaving us absolutely no time to actually listen to your concerns. You are not just a number on a chart, and you deserve more than a quick prescription handed to you as you are pushed out the door. I stepped in front of this camera because you deserve the truth about your health that rigid hospital protocols simply do not allow us to share. And the hidden truth about what is feeding those dangerous cells right now is going to shock you. We are conditioned to believe that rogue, rapidly dividing cells are just a tragic lottery of aging. You are told that once you cross your 60th birthday, you are essentially playing a game of chance with your health, just waiting for the day a scan reveals something terrifying. But that is fundamentally false. The real threat is not just bad genetics or bad luck. It is the highly profitable, perfectly legal trap laid out by the modern food industry, supported by terribly outdated medical guidelines. Every single day, grocery store aisles are packed with products wearing bright, cheerful labels claiming to be heart-healthy, low-fat, or specifically formulated for seniors. Yet these exact foods are engineered with hidden modified sugars and highly refined carbohydrates that do something devastating inside your body. Why does this matter so much for your future? Because abnormal, aggressive cells have a very specific, insatiable appetite. They do not thrive on oxygen. They do not thrive on natural, healthy elements. They survive, multiply, and aggressively hijack your body by feeding almost exclusively on glucose. The food industry knows exactly how to formulate these hidden sugars to keep you addicted, keeping your blood sugar in a constant state of chaos. And when you finally sit on that cold examination table for your mandated 7-minute appointment, your doctor simply doesn't have the time to unravel decades of dietary deception. We are heavily bound by hospital protocols that prioritize managing a disease once it is already destroying your life, rather than starving it before it ever takes root.
We are trained to write prescriptions and schedule surgeries, not to analyze the minute details of your morning routine. I need you to hear me clearly right now. I need you to truly absorb what I am about to say. If you have been struggling with your health, if you have been paralyzed by the fear of a recent medical report, or if you simply feel the heavy, exhausting burden of chronic worry, it is not your fault. You did absolutely everything they asked you to do. You bought the expensive whole grain cereals. You switched to the processed alternatives when the guidelines told you natural fats were dangerous. You drank the heavily processed juices because the television commercials promised you energy and vitality. You trusted a system that was supposed to protect your health and preserve your independence. You have spent years, perhaps decades, carrying the heavy burden of blame. I am here to lift that weight off your shoulders entirely. You did not fail. The nutritional guidelines failed you. The medical system, heavily focused on rapid turnover and massive profits, left you completely in the dark. You were handed a flawed, deceptive map, and you navigated it as best as anyone possibly could. You are not just a number on a chart to me, and you do not deserve to spend your golden years in fear of becoming dependent on others. We are going to throw that old, dangerous map away today. You possess a remarkable built-in defense mechanism that has been lying dormant inside your biology for years. By making a microscopic, completely free shift in your morning routine, you can literally cut off the fuel supply to the very cells that threaten to steal your autonomy. But to truly weaponize this simple habit and take back control of your life, you must first understand the elegant, flawless machinery of your own body. The way your aging cells respond to this specific technique is going to blow your mind. And understanding this biological secret is the crucial next step.
To truly understand how we are going to protect your body and support your biology, we must first look at exactly what happens inside your tissues after you celebrate your 60th birthday. You see, traditional medicine treats your body like a collection of isolated parts, often leaving you feeling ignored, rushed, and treated merely as a number. But your body is an incredibly intelligent, deeply connected ecosystem. Deep inside every single one of your organs, you have trillions of microscopic power plants called mitochondria. When you are in your 20s and 30s, these power plants burn clean energy using the oxygen you breathe. They keep your mind sharp, your muscles strong, and your immune system highly responsive. But as we age, a subtle but profound shift occurs. The natural metabolic rhythm slows down, cellular waste begins to accumulate, and in this environment, sometimes a normal cell becomes damaged, confused, and goes rogue. These rogue cells are the very things that keep you awake at night, sparking that deep, paralyzing fear of losing your independence, or the dread of undergoing a severe procedure that might leave you in a wheelchair, bedridden, or placed in a nursing home. Here is the visceral truth that a 10-minute consultation will never reveal to you. These dangerous, rapidly dividing cells have a fatal flaw. Their mitochondria are completely broken. They cannot burn clean oxygen for fuel. Instead, they are entirely dependent on fermentation, and the only fuel they can ferment is sugar, specifically glucose. This is a well-documented biological phenomenon known as the Warburg effect. These rogue cells are essentially metabolic parasites. They are incredibly weak, fragile, and absolutely desperate for a constant, uninterrupted supply of glucose to survive. I want you to visualize your body as a magnificent, historic mansion. Your healthy cells are the careful, diligent caretakers. They keep the mansion warm by burning clean, high-quality firewood in the hearth. They maintain the structure, keep the windows clear, and preserve the beauty of the home.
Now visualize these destructive squatters who have broken into the basement. These squatters do not know how to chop wood. They cannot use the clean fuel. To survive, they start ripping the drywall down, tearing out the copper wiring, and burning the house's own foundational materials just to stay warm. As they burn this toxic trash, they fill your beautiful mansion with thick, suffocating black smoke. That black smoke represents systemic inflammation. That is the hidden culprit behind the severe brain fog, the extreme fatigue, the sudden memory loss, and the chronic, unexplainable pains you might be feeling every single day. The medical establishment often attempts to clear out the squatters by dropping a bomb on the entire mansion. They use heavy, exhausting treatments that wipe out both the squatters and the diligent caretakers, leaving you entirely depleted. This is why so many of you express a deep, understandable desire for quality of life over sheer quantity, often telling me that resting in peace sounds far better than living your final decades suffering in a hospital bed. You want to treat the root cause of the problem, not just endlessly manage the painful symptoms. But there is another way to support your biology and naturally heal the environment inside your mansion. A landmark study published in leading cellular biology journals, building upon the Nobel Prize-winning research on a process called autophagy, revealed something extraordinary about nutrient deprivation and cellular survival. The researchers discovered that when you induce a very specific, temporary state of metabolic stress in the morning, your healthy cells instinctively know exactly what to do. The caretakers of the mansion are smart. They hunker down, enter a protective conservation mode, and begin recycling old, damaged cellular waste to keep the clean fires burning. But the squatters panic. Because their machinery is broken, they cannot adapt. They have absolutely no ability to switch to alternative fuel sources, and they cannot recycle waste. If you cut off their steady drip of morning glucose, they literally begin to starve and self-destruct. You are not attacking them with harsh chemicals. You are simply evicting them by turning off their power supply. This is how you reclaim your power and control, giving yourself the vital knowledge to question the outdated protocols and truly advocate for yourself. By utilizing a highly specific 60-second water technique the moment your feet touch the floor in the morning, you actively manipulate your body's osmotic pressure and blood sugar response. You flush the liver, stabilize your insulin levels, and slam the door shut on the glucose supply before the squatters can begin their daily feast. You are essentially starving the threat while simultaneously deeply hydrating and repairing your healthy tissues. This is not about expensive interventions. This is about working with the flawless, ancient intelligence of your own human biology. You're probably wondering what exactly makes this water different from a regular glass from your kitchen sink, and how a mere 60 seconds can trigger such a massive, life-saving biological defense system. The exact temperature of the water, the precise timing of when you drink it, and the one crucial, completely natural element you must stir in the glass are going to change the trajectory of your health forever. I'm going to walk you through these exact, simple steps right now.
We have established that those rogue, dangerous cells rely entirely on glucose to survive, thriving in an environment of metabolic chaos. Now, I am going to hand you the exact blueprint to disrupt that environment completely. This is not some expensive protocol. You desire solutions that are natural and simple, like a 60-second trick that replaces the need for heavy interventions. You want doctors who are honest, who explain the why behind the science, and who treat the root cause rather than just throwing another pill at the symptoms. That is exactly what we are doing right now. We are going to establish a daily routine that supports your biology, starves the bad cells, and protects your independence so you never have to face the terror of ending up in a nursing home.
Step 1 begins the absolute second you wake up, before you check your phone, before you read the news, and strictly before you pour that first cup of coffee. You are going to go to your kitchen and prepare 8 to 10 ounces of water. But the temperature of this water is the crucial first key. Do not use ice-cold water. When you consume cold water on an empty stomach, your body has to expend precious energy to heat it up to core temperature, which constricts your blood vessels and shocks your digestive system. We want to do the exact opposite. You need water that is slightly warm, right around room temperature or just a bit warmer. This warm temperature gently dilates the blood vessels in your stomach and intestines, signaling to your organs that it is time to wake up without triggering a stress response. This sets the stage for rapid absorption. Step 2 is about altering the chemical composition of that water. Pure filtered water is fine, but it lacks the electrical charge your cells desperately need after 8 hours of sleep. You are going to add a tiny, literal pinch of high-quality, unrefined mineral salt. I am talking about authentic Celtic sea salt or pink Himalayan salt. I know the outdated medical guidelines have terrified you about salt, leading you to believe it is the ultimate enemy. But unrefined mineral salt contains over 80 essential trace minerals, including magnesium and potassium. These minerals act as the biological keys that unlock your cell membranes. When you add this to the warm water, you create an isotonic solution. Instead of just flushing through your kidneys, this structured water is pulled directly into your cells, hydrating your tissues at a deep microscopic level and flushing out the cellular waste accumulated overnight. Step 3 introduces the disruptor. You are going to squeeze exactly 1/2 of a fresh lemon into this mineral water. Do not use the artificial bottled lemon juice that has been sitting on a supermarket shelf for months. It must be fresh. While lemon is acidic outside the body, the moment it metabolizes inside your digestive tract, it has a profound alkalizing effect on your bodily fluids. More importantly, the specific enzymes and antioxidants in fresh lemon juice actively stimulate your liver. Your liver is your body's master filtration system. By waking it up gently with these enzymes, you signal your liver to begin purging toxins and, crucially, to stabilize your blood sugar for the rest of the day. You are effectively halting the morning glucose spike that those rogue squatting cells rely on to break their fast. You are cutting off their breakfast. Step 4 is where the real magic happens, and it is the physical mechanism that locks this entire process in. Once you drink this warm, mineral-rich lemon-infused water, you're not just going to walk away. You are going to sit down, place your feet flat on the floor, and perform a specific oxygen-flooding breathing technique for exactly 60 seconds. Remember, those dangerous fermenting cells absolutely despise oxygen. It is lethal to them. You are going to inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 4, feeling your belly expand, not your chest. You will hold that breath for a count of 7, allowing the oxygen to saturate your bloodstream. Then you will exhale forcefully through your mouth for a count of 8. You will repeat this cycle 4 times, which takes roughly 60 seconds. Let me explain the profound science of why this combination is so devastating to the threat inside you and so incredibly healing for your healthy tissues. By executing this simple protocol, you're hitting the rogue cells with a biological 1-2 punch. First, the mineral and lemon water stabilizes your insulin and prevents the morning sugar rush, effectively starving the damaged cells of their only fuel source. Second, the deep, deliberate oxygenation floods your bloodstream with the exact element those cells cannot survive in. You are changing the entire terrain of your body from a hospitable environment for disease into a fortified, highly oxygenated fortress. You are waking up your healthy mitochondria, the caretakers of your mansion, giving them the hydration and oxygen they need to sweep out the trash and repair the damage. This is how you reclaim your power and control. You want the knowledge to question the system and advocate for yourself. When you sit in that doctor's office and they look at your chart during their allotted 7 minutes, you will no longer feel like a helpless passenger. You will know that you are actively managing your health naturally, supporting your biology at the deepest cellular level. You are taking the reins back from a system focused on money over health. You will not be a victim to the extreme fatigue, the brain fog, and the chronic pains caused by heavy medications. You possess the power to reverse the damage and heal your body from the inside out. You do not need to rely blindly on a system that treats you merely as a number. You possess the intelligence, the experience, and now the biological blueprint to protect your independence and live your golden years with dignity, clarity, and strength. Write these steps down. Implement them tomorrow morning. Notice how your energy shifts, how the brain fog begins to lift, and how your body responds when you finally give it the exact tools it has been begging for. But I also want to make sure you're protecting yourself legally and practically in the real world. You must know how to navigate the conversations with your primary care physician when you start implementing these profound changes, which leads us to a very important piece of advice you must hear before you start.
Now, I need to be absolutely clear with you before you move forward. Everything we have discussed today is for your general education and empowerment. I have held beating hearts in my hands and seen the extreme limits of modern medicine, but I am not your personal physician and I do not know your unique medical history. Please do not suddenly stop taking any of your prescribed medications or cancel any scheduled medical procedures. Instead, I want you to write this exact protocol down. Take these notes directly to your next appointment. Use this knowledge to ask better questions and have a much deeper, more informed conversation with your doctor. Ask them if certain pills are still strictly necessary now that you are actively supporting your own biology. But to truly advocate for yourself and protect the people you care about most, there is one final critical action you must take right now. The traditional healthcare system often leaves you feeling isolated, rushed, and entirely ignored. But you are no longer alone in this fight. We are building an incredible community of people who are taking their power back and demanding genuine quality of life over just existing in a hospital bed. I am asking you from the bottom of my heart to share this exact video right now. Send a link to your spouse, a sibling, or a dearest friend who is over 60. Someone you care about is likely lying awake tonight, terrified of a sudden health crisis or suffering in silence from the brutal brain fog and chronic fatigue caused by their daily heavy medications. You possess the power to hand them a lifeline. Before you go, leave a comment down below. Tell me, what was the very first thing you consumed this morning? Your shared experiences create a powerful shield of truth that validates everything we are doing here. But your journey to reclaim your autonomy does not end today. Now that you know how to starve the dangerous rogue cells, you urgently need to know about the hidden, seemingly harmless morning habit that is silently threatening your cardiovascular system. The video appearing on your screen right now reveals the exact morning mistake that triggers sudden heart events in people over 60. Click on that video right now. Keep fighting for your independence. Keep supporting your biology. And I will see you over there.